Welcome and greetings. We are extremely appreciative for this opportunity to co-create with you here today, this day of your time. Today's transmission is a continuation of our course, The Game of Awakening. This session is regarding playing the role of separation. Dearest ones, we love you so much. When you chose to incarnate into your physical bodies, you knew that there were certain rules to the game of being human. The one rule that you must obey is starting the game off with a veil of separation. When you are a child, the veil is extremely thin and almost transparent. But as you are around more players of the game of being human, the veil of separation becomes thicker and thicker to the point where it is so thick the veil has become what appears to be a wall, and you forget what it was originally. This is where most of humanity is. Seeing what looks like a wall of separation between themselves and what they perceive might be something bigger than they are in spirituality. But for most humans, they see a wall and walk away feeling very insignificant, very minimal, very helpless, and very alone. They have no clue that what they perceive as a wall is actually something that is not solid, and they could in fact run right through it. But all they see is a wall. This aspect to the game of being human is what makes it so enticing and desirable to play, knowing full well that you somehow have to figure out that the wall is not real. How is that even possible? Well, dearest ones, this is the game. All non-physical beings, as you saw it prior to incarnating, see it as the most exciting adventure of mystery, anticipation, disappointment, desires, and thrills. Basically, everything that humans look for in a good action and mystery movie. And here is the most thrilling part. So many of you have figured it out and are at the point where you can see through the veil again. You have figured out that it is not a real wall. You have figured out that you are not separate from the universal infinite intelligence of Source God. You have figured out that you are a divine child of God. You are God in human form. But here is the thing, dearest ones. We love you so much. You spent your entire lives looking at what you thought was a solid wall and feeling separate. But even though you now know that it is nothing more than a non-solid veil, you still behave as if you were separate. You still have muscle memory acting as if you are separate. You are still reacting to things as if you were separate. You are still thinking as if you are separate. You are still using your instincts instead of intuition as if you were separate. Dearest ones, if you were separate, how could you possibly exist when energy is connected to all things? All things are that you see around you are just different frequencies of vibration, that the vibration is still connected to everything else. You are not a separate drop from the ocean, but you are a wave in the ocean. The vehicles you see outside are not separate forms of energy, but are peaks of energy showing themselves in a vibration that are similar to what you have come to recognize when in close proximity to each other as a solid object. We say this because we are encouraging you at this stage of the game of awakening to move past the old vibrations and allow yourself to embrace your natural and divine connection to everything. It is time to let go of your fear. It is time to let go of your anger, and it is time to let go of your trying to control other things. Dearest ones, while awakening from the dream of being human, part of the awakening process is taking total control of your life. This is normal. Taking control of what you eat, taking control of what you do, taking control of what you think. This is all part of waking up from the dream. You are sifting and sorting, trying to see what was the dream and what you can perceive as real or spiritual. But during that stage of awakening, the taking control aspect actually causes you to experience a slight step backwards in your consciousness of evolution. The taking control aspect encourages your body to embrace fear, embrace anger, and embrace control over others. This is all part of the process because it then allows you to move past it. You can think of the awakening process as taking multiple rides on a slingshot or an arrow. The harder you pull back on that object, the further you will be propelled through the air and you will go. But awakening does this over and over and over. There is a misconception that once you have awoken to the reality of energy around you, that you have evolved then at that point into an enlightened being. This is incorrect, dearest ones. In fact, once you have woken to the reality of energy, you realize the real game has only just begun, and the rest of your life is learning how to ride with the energy. You learn that to go really quickly, you have to create for yourself significant strife in your life in order to learn from this, thus pulling back significantly on the arrow or slingshot. Once you learn the major life lesson, you will let go of the arrow or slingshot and fly a very far distance in your growth of spiritual evolution of consciousness. But one does not always want to experience in their life major patterns of strife. So for periods of time, you will want to just barely experience anything to learn from, and therefore barely move along on your evolution of consciousness. And then you realize you are getting bored and you desire to go flying again. So you create another situation to pull back on your arrow or slingshot. Yes, this is how life is once you have awakened. The difference being between being asleep and having these cycles occur and being awakened and having these cycles occur is that when you are awake, you have the knowledge, the experience, and the connection to recognize how to respond and not react to the situations that are occurring in your life, and what would be considered as a very stressful event in your life will be handled differently when you are awake compared to when you are asleep. Those who are asleep and experience significant strife in their life believe that bad things are happening to them, but when you have awoken from that slumber, you recognize the beauty of the creations that are around you, and you then have the ability to choose your response and choose your emotion to experience along with the events in your life. Yes, this is how life is once you have awakened. You are truly awakened when you realize how to create these experiences and to directly design whether or not you want to experience an extremely exciting skyrocket across the sky on your arrow or slingshot, or maybe you just want to rest a while and barely move along. You are awakened when you realize you are in complete and total control of why you want to move fast or why you want to move slow. However, you also know that you are to leave it up to the universe as to when, where, and how these situations will occur. One does not always want to be flying quickly. Sometimes one wants to stop and smell the roses. Having a beautiful and lovely balance of both experiences is what is so glorious about becoming awakened. And this is where we want you to be, dearest ones. We love you so much. We want you to give up control over when, where, and how. Those three things are what is causing you so much distress in your life. Your fear, your anger, your anxiety, and all the other lower vibrational emotions are caused from trying to control when, where, and how. Once you realize that it is not for your highest good to be in control of those three things, then your life will return back into the perfect balance and you will feel yourself relax. Your job is to know why. When, where, and how are handled by the universe and is not your job. Once you allow the universe to do what it is supposed to do, and also infinitely better than you could ever do, since you have limited knowledge and the universe has infinite intelligence, your life will return back to flow of ease and grace. Dearest ones, breathe and relax with us for a moment. Place your hands upon your heart center. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and hold it for a second. Then exhale the breath. Open your eyes and relax. Dearest ones, the universe just did all of that for you. All you did was know why, which was because you wanted to relax and feel better. And the universe handled all of the body actions and activities, from the muscles moving, to the lungs inflating, to the oxygen flowing into your bloodstream, to your heartbeat slowing down, to your energy smoothing out. You did none of that. It was handled by the universe. You only knew you wanted to relax and feel better. Trust in the universe. Trust in infinite intelligence. Trust in Source God. The divine will handle it. We promise you this. You can trust the divine. It is time to walk through the veil of separation. It is time to hold the hand of the divine again and watch what happens to your life. We leave you now in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator, Adonai.